now we're going to get into the actual costume designers responsible, partly so, for these iconic looks. So the costume designers, the first one we're going to talk about is someone you might be more familiar with. Her name is Edith Head. Edith Head was born in 1897 and passed away in 1981. Her most notable looks was Grace Kelly's in Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window. Before I get into exactly what Grace Kelly wore in that film, I just want to give sort of like a brief story that I discovered as I was doing my research. When Edith auditioned to be a part of a production company as a costume designer, she did not go with her own original work. She actually collected work from several of her fellow students and made a little portfolio and passed it off as her very own. To her surprise, she got the job that she didn't expect to get, and very quickly into the position she had to sort of come clean and let the director know, look, these are not my designs. Surprisingly though, she was able to stay on. It wasn't tons of people lining up to be a costume designer. It was a fairly new proposition in the film industry. So she was able to keep her job, and I guess you can say the rest is sort of history. Okay, let's go back into this design. So for the movie, one of the looks that I picked out was this white full skirt, black bodice, V-neck dress that she wore with the black shawl and the embroidery along the hem of the dress. This was a beautiful gown. It played into the storyline itself, and Grace Kelly looked breathtaking in it, obviously, because it became a very iconic image for the film itself. Okay, Walter Plunkett was another costume designer. He was born June 5th, that is my birthday. He was born June 5th, 1902, and he passed away in 1982. His most notable designs were Gone with the Wind and that scarlet red gown that was worn by the lead actress. I have tons of images of this red dress. It is silk velvet. It has feathers and beading. The design is extremely intricate and beautiful, and it played, I'm told, it played very well into the character itself. The reason why I say I'm told, I've never actually seen the film. I've taken brief synopsis from what the film was about in its summary, but the film is 4 hours long. So I have not just yet been able to set aside that much time to watch the film, but it is a beautiful design. If you get a minute, I will attach a couple of his illustrations, but I do suggest that you go on your own and research some of his sketches. He did beautiful sketches, and the sketches that he created that would eventually become the dresses itself, they were so beautiful that in his own right, he was an excellent fashion illustrator. And it just goes to show you how those skills can go hand in hand. Sometimes we tend to think, oh, I don't need to be good at this particular aspect, or I don't need to know this particular thing because I just need to get here. And the reason why we focus on the past so much is because it just goes to show you the greats and the ones that were truly iconic in their profession is because they took the time to gain the knowledge or even master a variety of skill levels and skill sets within their profession of fashion design. Okay? Another costume designer we'll talk about is a little bit more recent. She was born April 10th, 1969, and she's still alive today. I chose her because, one, she's an African-American female, and two, because she was a part of one of the most highest grossing films of all time. And that's not just the reason why I picked her, but also because of the actual designs that she created for that film. So Ruth E. Carter, she designed looks for the Black Panther film, and one of her most iconic looks that she actually won an award for was this royal African inspired gown that the lead actress Angela Bassett wore. And if you are able to see the pictures, it was this very high prominent headpiece and these very elaborate fabrics that were structured in a way that almost looked effortless but still very structured and very put together. And without looking like it took a great amount of detail and time, you can also tell that it took a lot of detail and time to create. So she made a very beautiful piece. And again, if you're able to look up some of her sketches or the sketches that were done based on her designs, they're very beautiful and very intricate. Irene Sheriff, she was also a huge designer, a huge costume designer in her own right. She was a part of many, many notable films and won many, many accolades for her participation within those films. Within the notes, you'll see that I've included some of those accolades and just a brief summary of her life. She was born in 1910. She passed away in 1993. And one of her most notable looks was Elizabeth Taylor in the film Cleopatra. William Travilla was another fantastic fashion illustrator. He created some iconic designs for several films. He was also very much synonymous with Marilyn Monroe. They worked together on so many films that it was like if she worked on the film, you almost certainly knew that he would be the costume designer for that film. He was born in 1920 and passed away in 1990. And his most notable look was the Marilyn Monroe, the pink dress in Gentlemen Prefer Blonde. So again, that was that dress that we talked a little bit about in the beginning when we talked about some of her most iconic looks. Now we know who was partly responsible for creating that design. Like again, I definitely encourage you, if you have some time, to just take a look into some of his fashion illustrations and sketches. They were just breathtaking and beautiful. He paid just as much detail as to those designs to get the actual seamstresses who would complete these dresses to understand the essence of the look. He made sure that the illustrations looked very similar to the actress itself to sort of give the seamstresses an idea of how those two mediums were to connect with each other to create the outcome. And I think we would agree, especially with the pink dress, that it was quite a wonderful combination in the end. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Videos are uploaded weekly covering dressmaking, fashion, lectures, and more.